Hey guys, can I tell you about my friends at Solid Roofing? These guys are incredible. They are top notch. They have got everything that you're going to need to make your roof look incredible for the holiday season. Give them a call today at 918-809-2234. Wouldn't it be nice to know that your contractor is also a licensed insurance adjuster? Because that's exactly what Solid Roofing has. Give them a call today. 918-809-2234. Solid Roofing.
You're listening to the NorthField Radio Show with your host, Caleb Gordon, where faith, family, and culture all collide with a biblical worldview. You can find out more about Caleb at www.calebgordon.com.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the NorthField Radio program. My name is Caleb Gordon. I am your host, and I'm really excited. I've got a good friend of mine on the show today, Adam Miller. He is the youth pastor from Grace Community Church here in Bartlesville. How in the world are you doing, Adam?
Good, Caleb. How are you doing?
I'm really well. What's been going on in your world?
Well, you know, it's December now, and so things start to kind of switch to
Switch gears?
Christmas. And
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
It was great, man. We did some traveling, and we had some good
Did you get some turkey?
We did. We had some turkey.
Fried? Okay, let's fried or...
No, I'm a brine turkey guy. I'm a cooked brine turkey.
What is that? Okay.
Which is you
define this.
You like put it in a bag, and you put some oranges and stuff around it, and you mix it all up, and you let it marinate, and then you cook it. But my cousin, he does this phenomenal thing. He injects the turkey with some of the brine, so when you...
And then he fries it? Tell me he fries it.
Well, he has fried it. He has fried it before.
I'm hooked on fried turkey. Now, smoked is good too.
Yeah, see, I'd rather have fried than smoked. But to your point, fried is... We're just regular turkey people, but we've had fried it before, and it's just a big mess, though.
It can be a mess if you don't do it right.
It's true.
You get videos on YouTube where it explodes.
Yeah.
those are fun. Hey, before we get going any further, have you been to Outpost Coffee?
I have.
What's your favorite drink there?
So I'm not a coffee guy.
Okay.
You're
a communist. Okay, cool.
I am actually.
Okay.
They're
good to see you, my friend.
Get down, get to the chopper. I am a hot chocolate guy. So,
okay.
but I have had their what's the name of that drink? It's a latte. It's just a regular latte.
See, I make it sound like I'm a coffee drinker, but I get their mocha vanilla latte.
Oh,
and so that
sounds good.
It literally is like Christmas in a cup.
Oh,
and just if you walk in there, because I've been in there so much, I just say, hey, I want the Caleb.
Give me what Caleb's drinking. Okay.
And they'll know, because I get it like, it's ridiculous how often
Who's the best barista there?
Jude.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
Jude's absolutely the best.
Okay, all right.
So, hey, listen, Shane, if you're listening,
yeah,
I love you, Shane.
Great, come on.
But you're the Padawan learner still, right? Is that maybe? He's gonna spit in my drink. I don't. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, check those guys out. OutpostCoffeeCo.com.
We'll cut this part out of the show. Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, tell me how you got. So you've been at Grace for how long?
For 7 years now.
And before that, you were at Kanakuk.
I was K-Life. So I worked for Kanakuk for 6 summers, which led me to K-Life in Nashville for a year, 2003. And then things happened, and I moved back closer to home, originally from Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. Landed in Bartlesville in 2004. Had a job for me in K-Life, and I've been...
You were the K-Life director for a long time there.
For 7 years in Bartlesville.
That's really abnormal for K-Life.
Yeah. There hasn't been there's been lots of turnover in the last 3 or 4 years, last 4 or 5 years. I left in 2011, so I guess about 7 years there's been pretty much a new person on staff, whether not the director, but a new person on staff pretty much every year since then. So
yeah.
It's for us to be that consistent be there that consistently was kind of a long, you don't see a lot of, I'm 40 years old, I'm doing youth ministry, you don't see a lot of 40-year-old. You see Ken Dossett, who's like 77 years old, still doing youth ministry. I think he started doing ministry when
that
he was
guy's a
17.
beast. That guy's a beast.
And I've heard his son was on the show. Have you heard it?
His son was on the show.
Yeah.
He was here last week. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was here last week.
Oh.
And actually, what's funny is he snuck into the studio today too.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah, I'm right over here.
Whoa!
Thanks for the plug, guys.
The one thing I like about Andy Dossett, just the one thing. I don't like anything else.
There's only one thing.
There's only one thing.
He always smiles.
I thank you. I appreciate that. Aww. The one thing I like about Adam.
What's that?
The one thing I like about Adam.
Not that he's an OU fan.
Is that he is someone that's older than me that still does youth ministry.
When you said you're 40, I don't turn 40 till November 28th.
Okay, yeah.
So I got like a couple weeks left.
You've been doing it for a while too.
I've been doing it for a while, and it's exhausting some days.
It is.
There's a reason I have gray in my beard.
I just had a conversation with our executive pastor at church, and talking about that very thing. Like, there's not a lot of people that will last that long without running into a wall.
Yeah.
And literally running into a wall.
So, okay, let's go there. Because, both of you are in the room here. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What has been the thing that has kept you, Adam? We'll start with you first.
Yeah.
What has kept you going? I mean, because you hear those stories of so many youth pastors that do get burnt out, and they're just done.
Right.
Yeah.
I think probably first and foremost, outside of my call from God, it's that supportive wife who understands and gets ministry, right? Like, it's huge. And probably there's lots of times where she wants me home, or, hey, can you, I'll leave at 7 in the morning and not get back till 10 sometimes, and she understands, which doesn't make it right because my first ministry is to the home, but also she gets it. But that the light bulb that goes off in a kid's eye when something flips, like when it makes sense to them, when the faith kind of becomes real.
Yep.
When we've been in, all three of us have kind of been in it long enough where we're seeing fruit from the ministry we did maybe 20 years ago, maybe not 20 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
20 years ago.
You doing that Dewey math? You got Dewey math, don't you? Yeah.
The Vera math. But no, I think even 5 years ago, we're starting to see fruit from kids in college who call us back and like, hey man, I remember when you were there. And so that, I think that keeps me ticking, like the one-on-ones, the time with kids that maybe seems the fruit less, and all of a sudden they'll say, hey, I remember when you said this, and you're like, you did what? Which I think that I mean, the program stuff I can kind of do in my sleep. It's become very easy.
Yep.
But also in the same sense, it's the new conversations we're having. I had 2 phenomenal conversations just a couple weeks ago about a kid and struggling with some of the same thing, and I could just counsel them, going, "Hey, I've been there. I know this. I understand this. This is what God says about it. This is how and this is how it works." And so, seeing those light bulbs, seeing those, even the guys that be vulnerable enough to ask questions, is worth me going into the office.
Yeah, your story, your testimony.
Yeah.
The churchy word.
Yeah.
Your testimony of where you've been impacts folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
man, you know what? To that, so both my parents passed away at a younger age from me. I was 21, 23, and 27 when they passed away. So God has opened up so many doors because of that experience in my life. It is amazing. Kids will just end up in the ministry somehow that I'm involved in, and they'll have just lost a parent, or their parents are real sick with cancer.
Yeah.
And God has opened up crazy amount of doors in that lieu, because I think probably because of my experience, like you were saying, like I have the unfortunate experience of losing both my parents, and so to be able to speak into their lives and just comfort them and say, I don't know where you're at because it's different, but I know where you're at, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so,
that's absolutely great. Yeah. All right, Andy. So,
what was the question? I can't remember. That was so good. I liked his answer. I'll take his.
I've gone blank on. I don't even.
Why do we keep doing it?
Yeah. What? Okay. Yes. See, golly. Andy.
Oh my gosh.
It's for the money.
For the money, man.
money.
Okay, all of everything Adam said was really good about that answer. Honestly, like, I was sitting there kind of thinking, why do I do it? I'm like, sometimes I have no idea. Because there have been days. There have been days where I go to my office, I sit at my desk, I'm like, I'm going to write a resignation letter. You know?
Dad, listen.
I was like, yeah, I do work for my dad, so... I'm like, Dad, it's not working out. No, it's like I'll see you for Thanksgiving. No, I mean, that's a really good question. But honestly, that's just been my calling in my life. That's just what the Lord has just continued to sustain the energy in me. And it's like, because I've done other things, and I've just done other things like hobbies and stuff, and like it always seems like that wears me out really quickly, or it just doesn't work. And I think that's just the Lord saying, let's get back on course here, Yeah. And like, it's definitely, I feel like, the Lord definitely has a plan for my life, and it involves youth ministry, because it seems like all the skill sets that I have and just the gifts that He's given me all kind of fit with that. And it's funny because I'm talking with people, and they're like, "Oh, I couldn't work with children, or I couldn't do that. I couldn't do what you do." And I'm like, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah,
Like I was like, I don't know how do you work with parents? Oh my gosh,
Well, back to what Adam said earlier. The calling. God's given us a calling for a purpose, and we don't give it up because God's placed that calling in our lives.
Yeah, and I just think that, I do it because that's what God wants me to do, you know? And if He wants me to do something else, then I'll do it, but He has not sent any of those signs. He keeps sending me the sign of, you need to keep doing this. You're staying in. I am, so I'll probably end up like my dad. I'll be 77 and
dude, if you're as cool as your dad at 77, your dad is a rock star.
I know, he's
no joke.
He stopped aging when he turned 18. That's like he's an 18-year-old, and he works harder than I do, He grinds. He does not stop. He is just, oh man.
Yeah.
He's awesome. But yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else. And really, that's the thing. Like, being able to talk with kids and to help them, because man, there's so many times I think when I was young that I wish someone would have said that to me, or I wish I would have known that, know. And a lot of times they were saying it, I just wasn't hearing it, And a lot of times, like, youth pastors over the years that I've had have been like saying the things, and now I'm starting to realize
it clicks.
It starts clicking now. And so I was like, well, I'll just do that, I'll just be trying to speak into kids' lives and give them hope and love on them, and try to be just try to be me,
That's awesome.
So I don't think that it really answers the
question. That was a great answer. So, Adam, are you okay? So you've got a new season coming into your life.
We do. I think in the midst of all of this, about a year and a half ago, and I don't think I know, my wife, who has been politely loving on me and trying to move me to Africa, and I've kept saying no. So real fast story. Got married. We've been married 12 years now. She served in Africa for a year right out of college, and we got married 5 or 6 years later after that. And I didn't know her, and then obviously we met and got married, and then she would show me clips, she would show me videos, she would show me pictures of this school in Kenya, and I would say, no, we're not living in Africa. That is crazy.
That's
talk.
Crazy.
That is for not me. So
somebody else.
So I said, well, we'd have babies. We have 3 kids, and so things kept coming up. I got a job at the church, and so things kept changing, and so we started and stopped this process 3 or 4 times, and I was only doing it to make her happy, which was not a great idea, but I was only doing it to make her happy. And God got a hold of my heart about a year and a half ago and says, Adam, you are, like Andy was saying, I'm gifted you in being with students, and so you get to do this job, but just in Africa. And so I think it was a different way of thinking about it. Kind of planted it in my head, like, you can do this job. And what this job is we're going to move to a mission boarding school in Kenya called Rift Valley Academy, and it's through an organization called Africa Inland Mission, and we're going to be dorm parents. So we're going to live with 25 freshman guys. So
holy cow.
While their parents are serving somewhere on the continent of Africa. So we're not wired to go serve in the bush, but But we are wired where some people are not wired, is to
Sure.
be around 25 freshman guys.
So you're working with missionary parents, or
Correct.
the kids of missionaries.
Right, so they have to be missionaries on the continent of Africa
MKs.
somewhere. MKs, right? And these kids, and they'll come to it's a 90-acre gated school, and they have sports teams. So it's almost like they dropped an East Coast boarding school into the mountains of Africa, and it's awesome. So
Wow.
it's a basketball team, rugby team, which obviously
All
I don't
that
know anything
stuff.
about. Yeah, so I get to coach, and it's gated, and so we have to raise support to go, but it's just like the parents of these kids who are living in Egypt
Yeah.
or so whatever, and they're so it's 3 months on of school, and then they have to go to their parents' home for a month.
Okay.
So they'll go experience mission work, and so we have to raise money for our family to go and live there.
Okay, so if somebody wants to help with that,
Yeah.
how does one
That's
do
awesome, man. There is that's a good question. Let me try to figure out a way it's easy. We're doing it through a mission called Africa Inland Mission, which is AIM, and they're based kind of all over the world, but they have an office in Atlanta. So Africa Inland Mission, AIM.org.
So they go to that website, they can find Adam Miller.
They can find Adam and Emily Miller, and they can find a way to give to us if they feel being. And what it is partnering with us. It's partnering with us as we go do we go do work on the field, and we're not the missionary type as you would think of. I'm going to go live in a cave or but like I said earlier, what we are, it's a really unique opportunity to support missionaries,
Yeah.
and we love that we love that ministry because these kids need parents, and these kids are struggling, and these kids just need people to love on them, and we're more than happy to go do that. And
That's
it's a
so
2-year
cool.
commitment.
2 years. Okay.
And then we'll come back for a little bit, and then
And your kiddos are going with you, correct?
yeah. So we're
Okay.
living in an apartment. Yeah. So we're living in an apartment attached to like 2 hallways of freshman guys, and so it'll be kind of crazy.
Your poor wife.
Yeah,
The
right.
amount of-
Exactly right.
All you have, baby, this is what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Just
You
remember
wanted to be here. all that
all your idea.
all the testosterone. I've got a freshman in my house right now.
yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
a freshman
you do.
and an 8th grader in my house, and the amount of testosterone and just that boyish stuff that's rolling in my house right now. There are days that my wife wants to crawl through the ceiling and just hide.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a really unique opportunity working with missionary kids, because
They sort of kind of got an inside view.
yeah, and so
Yep.
because I grew up, my father was a youth pastor, and so my struggles aren't necessarily what other kids' struggles are, and kids coming from different backgrounds, they have unique struggles that are people are more prone to have certain type of struggles depending on their background.
Yep.
And missionary kids is a very, interesting because growing up, even now I still deal with that whole sometimes I feel like my parents put the mission first, and they're calling first over the family, And I know that's not true, but that's just, you have that feeling you can't help. It's just natural,
This is the thing
That's true.
like, I've got friends that are pastors and youth pastors, and one of my youth pastor friends, he just texted me not too long ago about this kind of thing where the minister of his, or one of the ministers in his church, pours into the people in his church, and his kids are struggling with drug and drug and alcohol abuse and all this crazy stuff, and I'm like,
Yep.
that the scripture says you're worse than an infidel if you're not taking care of your family, and so
And to that, we've actually had to speak to that because people ask us that question, like, man, how do you justify these missionaries who are leaving their kids
Yeah.
with you? And so we what we're doing is we're partnering with parents as and nowadays the world is a lot smaller, so there's iPhones and there's internet all over the continent of Africa, sometimes better than the United States, but we do want to get them to their house for a month to
They get that
live
month on.
and that
Yeah.
month on.
well, yeah, because they're not staying away from mom and dad forever,
No, no.
And
Right,
and
yeah.
when
That's
and
cool.
when there were times where kids, if Kanakuk has camp terms that can go almost the
month.
entire summer.
Absolutely.
And so it's not necessarily horrible that they're going to, it's,
Right.
they're
Right.
learning stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is a school, it's K
Yeah.
through 12, and so they're going to be going almost like their college experience during high school when they're away from parents. But But it is hard. But you're right. We have to answer that question because I had a dad who was. We were talking to a family about raising support, and he's like, I think it hit him as like, well, he's experienced absentee dad in his life, and he has been in that for these kids, and he doesn't want that for other people, and so he's pretty adamant about that. And I said, you're right, man. That's a hard question to answer, and like Andy was saying, like, is it mission or is it family? And in the Bible, it clearly says, without your family, there is no mission, right? Or and your mission is your family. But in this sense, back in the 1800s when this school was formed, the missionaries were saying there is nothing for our families or for kids. We want to form this school so we can do both. So
it's the best of both worlds. That's what you're telling me. You're telling me, this sounds like the best of both worlds, where you get to actually invest in the kingdom.
Yeah.
The missionaries do. You're investing in them, and guys, I've known Adam, golly, almost 12 years now.
Yeah,
almost 12 years. And I'm telling you, this guy loves Jesus more than anything else, and his hope is to get the gospel into the hands of these kids, and they need to hear that repetitively sometimes.
Right. And you know what Andy was saying? A lot of these kids didn't sign up to go to the mission field.
No.
Exactly right. It was their parents, and they just got drug along, and so there's going to be some kids that don't want to be there, and man, that's right up my alley. I have a heart for those kids because I didn't want to be there at first.
What? Like, look, I can relate. My wife drugged me here.
It's all her fault. No, I mean, as I'm a pastor's kid, so I totally I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been but that's the thing. My dad did a really good job. He's 70 years old now, and like he did a really, really killer job of making sure I was not put on the back burner. And I know so many ministers who do that. And it's awesome that they're stepping into that role to help. And it's just
so we all have kids, and we all have families, and we're all doing ministry. Sometimes I catch myself doing that same thing. Sometimes I catch myself get caught up like, oh wait, is this important? Do I need to go home and be with my family, or is this important? And that's something I have to constantly kind of ask myself and answer. And like, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that we'll never get right, too. Right. I mean, it's like either we overdo it or underdo it, you know, and like walking the line is just, I think that's where God's grace is just so amazing, because he's just going to be like, hey, it's okay, Adam, Andy, Caleb, you're going to figure it out, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to help you guys out.
And luckily, it's not us doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's your time frame on Africa? When does that happen?
Yeah, so we're raising support now. We leave in July, so we're selling the house.
July of 2019.
Selling the farm. July 11th. Yeah, we got to get rid of them. We'll probably just slaughter them. That's a different show.
Okay.
But no, we're leaving July 11th, flying to Nairobi, which is about an hour from where we'll end up ultimately. The cool thing is we're 3 hours from Kilimanjaro, so if you want to go climb Kilimanjaro, come on out.
We have an excuse, Andy, to go to Africa now.
Come on out. It's 3 hours.
So now, I had one question: is the missionaries, are they from all over the world? The kids?
Yeah. So there's a South Korea sending agency. There's a Canadian sending agency.
So it's not just America. It's,
right.
So it's like Europe and everything.
They all speak English.
That's cool.
But they're from all over. As a matter of fact,
really cool.
South Korea is the biggest sending church in the world.
Wow.
And so we have kids. We have kids from. I mean, it's almost a fourth culture. Like you've heard of third culture kids. Yeah. It's almost a fourth culture kid because it's inside these gates, and it's this high school musical type feeling that they feel like that, where I said that kind of joking, but also
exactly like that.
But also
like into songs.
There's these kids that come from and they're away from their family. It's just it's
That's
very
crazy.
unique.
They're all from all over the world, and they're coming to Africa where they...
Yeah.
And then, that's cool. I think it's such a unique opportunity.
Yeah.
And
you said it's all guys, right?
No. I'm living with all the guys. So there's 19 dorms on campus, guys and girls, from 4th grade all the way up to 12th grade.
Oh, so this is a massive campus.
It's a 500-kid school.
That's crazy.
So, and there's about 30 nations represented.
Wow.
And so, like, you can board, so you can send your 4th grade. I couldn't imagine doing this, but you could send your 4th grader to school Send your 12-year-old kid away. That'd be tough.
That would be really tough.
And I think a lot of people don't send until they get to middle school and high school.
Well, maybe they have like an older brother or sister.
Exactly, and they have an older brother or
Yeah,
sister.
okay. I could, yeah.
But man.
But it's that quote normal middle school, high school experience, you know,
Yeah.
that they would get back home probably.
How many acres did you say it was?
It's about 90 acres, gated.
So it's a big.
It's huge,
yeah.
and it's on the side of the mountain in the Rift Valley, and so it's beautiful views. And so it's about 50 to 70 degrees all year round. So it's right close to the equator.
Are you going to be doing like a blog? So keep track?
Yeah. Our blog name. Nice, good job, Andy. Our blog is Sweet Awkward Kids. So you can search for Sweet Awkward Kids, and that's what.
Oh, it really is that.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
No, yeah, we got.
Now I feel real.
We're the typical homeschool family right now. We got awkward kids. I love my kids. They are phenomenal. They're just awkward, partly because I'm a little awkward.
That makes sense.
I think all of us in the room right now are awkward, so that's totally fine.
So
Sweet Awkward Kids.
Sweet Awkward Kids, and you can find us there. Just Google it. And
What I'll do, I'm going to put a link to your blog
awesome
in the podcast.
Awesome. We'll have a link in there as well. I can send you a link about how to give.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's what I'll do. I'll put that in a link in the blog.
So we can follow you.
Man, that'd be great. We'd love many supporters, and even if it's just prayer, you know, because we're going to go through. We've heard lots of stories about people just hitting the wall. You know, like I don't know if I want to do this anymore, and I'm 3 months away, and there's no Chick-fil-A down the end, down the road.
Culture shock for real, especially.
There's no Chick-fil-A where you're going.
No, there's no.
Yeah,
no, they just closed the one in Kenya. So
They just
Okay, well,
I don't know if it's worth going now.
Yeah, I know. Have you told your wife about that?
bye, Emily. Have a good time.
So yeah, but it's you know, got to suffer for the gospel. You know, there's no McDonald's. And I think that's the thing that we're going to have to adjust to the most is like this different.
We're spoiled, man.
Yeah, right.
I really do. I went to Nicaragua for 1 week, and I came back and I viewed the life that I mean, still to this day, I'm like,
Right.
Why are we complaining?
Yeah, right. That's
like I was
exactly right.
I was standing in line at Subway not too long ago, and the lady was like, just flipped out on the attendant. Cannot believe you do not have straws. How do you not have straws? And the lady's like, I don't know. And I'm just like, I looked at her. I don't know why it came over to me, but I said, did you know that in the course of this conversation that we've been having, that like 3 kids in third world countries have died because they don't have clean water? And she's just like, and I'm just like,
She's like, well,
where did that come from? And,
Whoa, okay, getting real.
like the amount of complaining that we do is just
That's
insane.
unfortunate.
Well, and that's one thing that we're excited about is we're giving our kids a huge view of the world, a bigger view of the world, and we're super excited about that experience they get from this.
Plug the website because we just got a couple minutes left. Plug the website again.
It's Africa Inland Mission, AIM.org, and you can go online and find us, Adam and Emily Miller, and that's our missionary. It's with us, and you can find us, and then from there you can find a place to give.
And you're still the youth pastor at
all the way up
Grace.
until May 31st, my last day at Grace Community Church.
What time do you guys meet on Wednesdays? You guys do meet on Wednesdays.
Yeah, absolutely. Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8. Middle school and high school together. We'd love to have anyone who's around who would want to know more about Jesus and who's looking for a church. Grace Community Church is on Nowata Road, 1500 Nowata Road, if that's the address you want to put in there. But you can go to gccbartlesville.org and find out more about us. Cool. We have a real swanky website that I don't do.
It is swanky.
Yeah, that's what.
Your picture's on there.
Yeah, your picture is on there.
You're right. You can look at me.
It's a great
You
picture.
could see his face.
It's not
You
a
look
great
great.
picture.
You
right?
look great.
What's going to be awesome on the podcast is your face will be plastered up on the
Oh, definitely.
great.
so
Sweet.
everybody can see you.
Well, I am dressed for the radio.
You got a face made for radio, Adam. Hey, can you would you dismiss us in prayer?
I'd love to.
Thanks,
Thanks for having us on, Caleb.
Yep.
Appreciate it. God, thanks for this day that you created that was not promised. And we praise you for giving us another day, another opportunity. And God, as we go, and some of us go into church now, some of us go into just that next stop of our life. God, I pray you continue to give us opportunities where we could share the gospel. We could be real. We could open up conversations. And God, we could point people to you by the way we live, by the way we talk, by the way we act. And so I pray for those that are listening that don't know you as their personal Savior, God, that you would bring people into their life that would be real with them, as Andy talked about a couple weeks ago, that could really, truly be vulnerable and be genuine and really just open a door in their lives, and they could start being curious and asking people about you. And so, God, we pray that you would move across Bartlesville, that you would bring revival, that you would bring authentic relationships, and God, we ask that you would just move.
Yeah.
Father, we love you. We praise you. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys, go get them. This program has been brought to you by DSR, a technology company that has been investing in Bartlesville families for over 35 years. DSR, we deliver technology.